So welcome everybody. We're just going to have a quick 25-minute discussion on what Plexus is and how it can help you. My name is Julia Bender. I have been on the products for about 4 years, and I will share a little bit of my story and about some of the products in a minute. My friend Brooke is hopping on here, and she's got 6 kids, so she's going to hop on and share a little bit of her story and what she can first. And then she can hop off, and then we'll just keep going from there. And we've got Lori on here who's going to share a little bit too. Lori is a good friend that I've met through Plexus, and it's awesome that we all support each other and get to share experiences, and you get to hear different voices and how it's helped other people. So we'll start with Brooke.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here today and to share my story. Linda, it's nice to meet you in person as well and just get to put a name to a face. So I'm a mom of 6. My kids are between the ages of 3 and 14. I've been on Plexus for 5 years. And the reason I've stayed on Plexus for 5 years is because as a nurse and my husband as a physician, we've done a lot of research on supplementation and the needs that our bodies have. And we have just learned through everything that we've researched. And then not even just that, but what we've experienced on the supplements, that supplementation is something that truly does help the body achieve its greatest health. It's something that we need because of our modern diet, the way that we tend to eat, the way that our soils are depleted, and just our modern lifestyle lends itself to the fact that we tend to be nutrient depleted. And it's not that we don't get enough calories. We tend to do pretty good with that, but the calories that we're eating aren't really giving us the nutrients that we need. And when your cells on a cellular level are depleted, you're going to struggle with different things. Maybe that's low energy, maybe that's sleep issues, maybe that is issues with fertility or with your liver, for example, Linda, like you were mentioning. Your body is always striving to be in homeostasis or be balanced, and it will do whatever it has to do to achieve that balance. But eventually you get to the point where the engine is running on empty because your body's not getting what it needs. And that's when things start to break down and you start to notice symptoms, right? And so if I could, list my symptoms before Plexus, they were headaches almost every morning when I woke up. I was bloated most afternoons and evenings. I had tremendous anxiety, stress, and nervousness, which meant that I was very impatient with my kids. I would lose my temper and I just felt like a bundle of nerves. I had struggled on and off with depression for years. I craved sugar all day long. I wanted it after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. You could find me on the couch eating chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream every single evening because I just had this insatiable craving and desire for sugars and carbs. I also was tired all the time. And that's not an exaggeration. I would wake up tired by 10 a.m. I'd be tired again by 1 or 2 p.m. I absolutely required a nap almost every single day of my life just to get through the day. And here's the crazy thing, you guys. I looked healthy. I looked fine. I looked like everything was just great. I was a fitness instructor. My body looked fit. I looked toned. I looked healthy. Everybody thought I had tons of energy, but what they didn't know is that it was like a struggle for me to get to the gym and to turn that energy on and to hype myself up to get into that state would either require a nap or a bunch of caffeine to get me going. And so I wasn't healthy, even though I looked healthy. And it's really important for me to help you guys understand that just because somebody looks healthy or just because somebody looks like everything is fine doesn't mean it's fine. Right, Julia? I mean, you can look great, but you can be struggling mightily with your health physically or emotionally. And so I was struggling with all of those things. And I had been exercising. And aside from my, candies and chocolates that I liked, we really actually did eat healthy. We don't eat a lot of processed foods. We don't eat a lot of fast food. Where we live, it's hard to get that stuff. And so that wasn't really an option. So I was doing a lot of the right things, but I was still struggling with my health. And so I started these supplements, very skeptical because of my medical background, but they absolutely blew my mind. You guys, within the first week, I had my energy back. I did not feel like I was going to bite my kids' heads off. I felt so much more calm and relaxed. I started sleeping through the night. So falling asleep easy, staying asleep. One of the other benefits that I loved is that my hair stopped falling out, which was great. I also have always been really athletic and I had a lot of aches and pains and inflammation. I started to notice that my joints were happier. My Achilles tendonitis, plantar fasciitis started to go away. Over the course of month 2 on the products, my bloating and my digestion evened out. Took a little bit longer because it does take longer for digestive issues. And even my skin, like I would say, when you look at what my skin looked like before Plexus, I've never had really bad skin, but I feel like my skin is just vibrant and really healthy. And at 42 years old, I couldn't be happier with, my hair and my skin and my digestion and my health and my energy. I don't take naps anymore. I don't need copious amounts of caffeine. I wake up without headaches, like just so many different things because my body now gets what it needs. It's restored, it's replenished, and I feel like myself. I want to just talk for a little bit about the liver since Linda was asking, what about people that have fatty liver? So, Plexus can help a lot with fatty liver because basically it's a couple of reasons. Number one, it's going to change your cravings and it's going to change what you want to eat. And when you do eat healthier foods that are more natural, less sugary or less vegetable oils and fats and synthetic, when you eat healthier foods, that is better for your liver because your liver is one of the main, detoxifiers in the body. Like your blood goes through the liver and your liver takes out toxins and so eating a healthier diet is going to lend itself to giving you a healthier liver. But also the slim drink, the pink drink that we love, has an antioxidant in it called alpha lipoic acid. And alpha lipoic acid is considered to be like the magical antioxidant for the liver, so to speak. It helps to detoxify the liver and it's a natural chelator. So it will naturally help to chelate out toxins and heavy metals and things like that. I do actually have a friend of mine that started Plexus several years ago with me. And she did a video, it was years and years ago, about how Plexus helped her get rid of her fatty liver disease. And it did. It did. I mean, she was doing some healthier things with her diet, but again, Plexus helped her to do healthier things with her diet because she had different cravings. And so it's fantastic for the liver, you guys. So that's my story.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, one of the things that I think we don't realize is that you can start any diet you want, but your diet, like I love how people joke, like the word in diet is die. Because that's like what your brain feels like. Because your brain starts saying, like, you cut this, you stop this, you put that down. And I love that Sarah, who's on this call, had one pink drink and was like, I craved a salad and I was really satisfied. Like, that's how I felt. I used to be like, let me eat the salad and eat the chicken on the salad so that I could have my cookie, right? Because I had the healthy thing and now that's a good calorie breakout. And now I have my treat because I like did the thing to do the thing. And it was a big difference when I like ate it and was like satisfied and wanted more. That meant that those normal like Friday night cookie nights are now like once a month versus once a week. And like those normal things that I would just make and do, I realized just slowly started fading out and replacing with things that I really truly craved. And then I felt really satisfied with those things. So that was really huge for me. I'm going to talk really quick about just the core main products that, again, we have so many packs and options for people based on like what their initial health goals are. And the core of these focus on blood sugar balance and gut health. Blood sugar balance is huge. It was originally, Slim is like a drink that helps you balance your bodies. It was created by endocrinologists because there were diabetics on the board of Plexus when their first product was actually a self breast health check kit. And it was meant to focus on early detection for breast cancer for women. And that's what I love about the company is it's really focused on preventative health, not just like, here's your band-aids and here's your diet system. And like, surely that will be fine enough because it's not just about weight. Like you guys know that weight is an issue, but there's so many other things linked to our health. And if we can get those all in balance, that's when you start to like actually begin to thrive with your health. So when you balance your glucose levels throughout the day, that means your blood sugar is stable and you're not dropping. You don't have the afternoon drop where you need that nap, where you need that carb and that sugar to pick me up before you get that next burst of energy at like 4 to 5 o'clock before dinner time. For me, that meant I could work out at 9 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon with the same energy. I could play with my kids. I wasn't a big napper because I was always like, there's no time to nap, but it didn't mean I wasn't tired. So I didn't sleep well. And I would literally wake up tired every single morning. And the joke was that like my legs don't move before 8. So I would be like, kids, get in bed with mom. Like, so fun. You just snuggle. I'm not getting out. Like, it's so comfy. And I didn't sleep well. And I'm just so tired. And that for me wasn't helping me like show up as a good mom and to do the things that I wanted in my life. So again, it helps detoxify the liver. It helps with inflammation. It helps with cravings. When you start your day with something that's actually really delicious, for me, that meant my breakfast was like healthier and more savory because I wasn't like craving the pancakes every morning for breakfast or the cinnamon roll or the muffin because I just had something delicious and sweet. Um, you can take it with food, without food. Sometimes people are sensitive, so we'll have them start with even a half packet with food and then move up to, and then a half packet with lunch and move up to a full packet and then separate it out a little bit. You don't want to sip on it all day. And this isn't something that you want to drink and let like 6 hours go by. You want to have it, within 15 to 30 minutes of some type of a food or a protein. So that's kind of that, but you can drink it in the morning, you can drink it before lunch, you can drink it mid-afternoon. Typically it's morning for all day, but some people have their cravings later in the day and evening, so they'll drink it before lunch. So that's a little bit about this. Insulin is your master hormone. So that the byproduct of balancing your insulin is that it trickles throughout and balances all the rest of your hormones, which is huge for people with PCOS and like heavy periods or like periods that are skippy or super PMSy. Like for me, that meant my periods got lighter. I wasn't so like cranky before my period. And so, what people are like, are you on your period? I hate that when guys do that, right? And so that was definitely more balanced for me, which is a blessing for the entire household. Those are typically paired with ProBio5 and BioCleanse. So we've all taken probiotics probably at some point. The unique part of ProBio5 is that it's an antifungal and it helps get rid of, breaks down the outer shell of Candida yeast. Most of us through stress, lots of antibiotic use and processed foods, have an overgrowth of Candida yeast in our body. And our goal should be 80-20 good and 20 bad. And it's usually flipped. So we have 80% bad bacteria and overgrowth and 20% good. And so adding just beneficial doesn't do a whole lot. But when you're breaking down every day those toxins and getting them out of your body, and over 3 to 4 months, it takes 3 to 4 months for new cells to regenerate, you start to have a healthier balance. That means your inflammation goes down. This is key for people with allergies, asthma, a lot of like autoimmune issues, sugar cravings, right? The sugar beast, like the higher you go, the less you'll be like, wow, you can take 2. For me, 2, I'm still eating donuts, and brownies all week long. So for me, I typically take 3 to 4 of these every day. And then you want to make sure that your toxins get out of your body, because you can store 20 pounds of waste in your body. People that are chronically constipated, kids that are constipated, adults, whether you're like going way too many times and it's not absorbing, or you're backed up and you have a lot of toxins in your body, it contributes to so many other things in your health. So this is formulated with vitamin C, which is fantastic for like immunity right now. It also just helps get everything out and oxygenates your body. That means when you move your body, you're less sore. It has magnesium. A ton of people are magnesium deficient. And so when we talk about like making sure you get enough calcium, magnesium is usually the culprit. It helps with bone density and all this other stuff that is fantastic for the body. And just oxygenation of the body is huge for like muscle recovery and for your operation of your body. And it's a gentle cleanse. This isn't like you're sprinting to the bathroom 15 times a day. This is like you're just brushing your teeth and just getting all the junk out and spitting it out. Right? So you want to be going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times a day for the normal amount of meals that you're getting. And a laxative, you're like sitting on the toilet all day and you can't move. With this, you're like, I have more energy. I am sleeping better. I don't feel bloated. I'm going to bed after dinner and I'm not super puffy. Like I actually feel good. And I've already seen that with like Eliza and stuff, who has noticing that as well. So that's just the basic foundation. And then we kind of build upon that. And some people kind of get a slightly different start, or some people focus more on weight loss, gut health, or skincare. Those are kind of our 3 main lines, but all of them again are interconnected. So Lori's going to share a little bit about a couple of other products that we have and a little bit about her story real quick.
Hi, I'm coming to you from sunny Las Vegas. It's kind of cloudy. It's been cold for the last week, but anyway, it still is nice enough for me to be outside. So I'm Lori. I am a nurse practitioner, and I'm also a gold ambassador with Plexus. And I started almost 4 years ago, and I started because I wanted to lose weight. I was interested in the weight loss portion of the product line. 4 years ago, there was not a whole lot to choose from as far as those packs that you can start with, you know, based on what your needs are. We have a lot more opportunity to kind of dose what's right for you. So I think it's great. But in a nutshell, I saw a friend post something about this pink drink and I didn't think anything about it. And then I saw her post again the next week. And I thought, okay, I want to know about this stuff, because I had been to Disneyland the first part of April. And when I looked at the pictures, I was shocked at what I saw. I did not recognize myself. I was heavier than I've ever been, even 9 months pregnant. And so I knew I had to do something. So when I reached out to my friend and she said, oh, it can help you with this and this and this, come and do this 7-day challenge. And we were doing lots of 7-day challenges back then. I said, okay. So I bought me 7 sticks of Slim, came to me in the mail, and I started the 7-day challenge, not really knowing anything about what I was doing, other than I was hoping it was going to help me lose weight. Well, throughout this 7-day challenge, I learned about the insulin and the blood sugar balancing. I learned about how, you know, it can affect all of the other hormones. I learned about gut health and what leaky gut was and all this stuff. And since I've done a lot of research about leaky gut syndrome, and it's quite fascinating as I've learned for myself how Plexus has put what your body needs into our products. So anyway, but the amazing thing for me was I was addicted to sugar big time, and Diet Coke was my vice. People would tell me, you really need to quit drinking Diet Coke. And I said, it's my one vice. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. So leave me alone. I'm going to keep my Diet Coke. But I was drinking about 44 ounces a day. And that's a lot of Diet Coke. So minus the ice, I figure it was about a gallon. And I would always make myself drink some water before I would have, like, I'd maybe start with a Diet Coke, but then I wouldn't let myself have a second one unless I drank a couple of things of water. So I would make myself drink water. So I thought, I'm doing good things for me. So I started this challenge though. And the very first day I was worried about going from a gallon of Diet Coke a day habit to nothing. I wanted to quit, but I was concerned. So I had one can on the first day of my 7-day challenge and my first day of Slim. And I didn't get a headache even with just cutting back to one can. So the next day I didn't have any. By the end of the 7 days, I still hadn't had any Diet Coke. A gallon a day to 0 in 7 days. I also didn't crave sugar. I was wanting the salad, just like it was mentioned before. I was actually craving fruits and vegetables. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if this pink drink can do this in 7 days, what could the triplex do for me? So my birthday was coming up. I was in grad school getting my master's, and I was not working at the time. So I asked my husband to buy it for me for my birthday. He agreed, and he also agreed to do it with me. We started with the triplex, and because there was 2 of us, we ordered a double welcome pack, and it came with a bottle of vitamins, which at the time was just X Factor Original. And we fell in love with the products, because just like Julia said, any diet you do, you always need a little more support, no matter what it is you're trying to do, no matter what kind of a nutritional eating plan you're trying to do. You always need some help, some support, some tools. And Plexus was the tool that we needed to get healthy, and we were very successful. But I just wanted to tell you about 3 months in, my husband said, we can never be without these products. And I had started sharing, and I had helped enough of my family and friends to pay for my products, which was about the only way, being in grad school, the only way I was going to be able to do it was if I shared enough to have some help paying for the products. But I also figured that my Diet Coke and sugar habit was at least $10 a day. And that was a significant savings just right there. It paid for my products without even having to share. But I felt so good, I couldn't help it. But anyway, a couple of products I love and that I want to share about. I talked about X Factor Plus, but anyway, I am still here today. The other thing I wanted to say, I am still here in Plexus because I love the community. I because of me working and doing things, I never really had like really close girlfriends. And I can truly say that this Plexus community has made a big difference in my life. They are inspiring, they are empowering, and they help me want to be a better person every single day. And how can you not want that? So that's why I'm still here. Plus, I still love the products, and the more I learn about them, the more I love them. One product really quick, X Factor Plus. I said something about the X Factor Original. X Factor Plus just has more oh my gosh, just escaped me. Like minerals and more amino.
Polyphenols.
Yeah, well, it has polyphenols, which are fabulous for so many health conditions. But the thing I like about the X Factor Plus is the proprietary blend helps with our, not only does the triplex help with our hormones, but this has actually been really good for people who are women who are suffering from menopause. The proprietary blend in it helps decrease your menopause symptoms. But anyway, and so I love this. I mean, I went through a surgical menopause at 40, so maybe 42, I can't remember now. But anyway, doesn't matter. But anyway, I still love this vitamin. The other thing I love about this vitamin is that's a methylated vitamin. So the vitamins that are in this have already been partially broken down so that your body will actually use them. I've never been a big vitamin person, but I don't miss a day of my X Factor Plus because I know that it is going into my stomach. My stomach is able to absorb the nutrients from this vitamin, and my body is using what's there. It's not peeing them off, it's using it because of the formulation of the methylation. And then Ease, really quick. Ease is our anti-inflammatory. This is your ibuprofen alternative. This is made with green-lipped mussels, bromelain, and turmeric. And the bromelain is fascinating because it will go into your bloodstream and it will eat up the proteins that cause inflammation. That's why it's an anti-inflammatory. It's best taken on an empty stomach. And because of the green-lipped mussels, it does kind of smell fishy, but I still take it every day. It really helps with the inflammation. And I love knowing that I am not putting something in my stomach that is going to maybe cause ulcers or cause other kidney, decreased kidney function. It's not going to affect my kidneys. Green-lipped mussels, bromelain, and turmeric, all three powerful antioxidants. And so I love my Ease. I love every product, but these were the two that I chose to talk about today. And I'm a lifer. I'm never going back.
Thank you so much, Lori. A lot of times people will say, it's a really common question is, how long do I have to take these? And I just think, gosh, why would I want to go back? Like my alternative, like you can stop, right? You can stop and slowly over time, your symptoms will come back. Why would you want to go back? Like I spent 20 years with like massive stomach pains. I don't want to go back there. Like that was not serving me. Headaches, cold sores, um, in a hormone imbalance, an autoimmune, like being on a drug that's like a black box drug that has like pages and pages of like horrendous side effects that are honestly more terrifying than having puffy fingers. I don't want to go back. So if you're filling in the nutrient gaps and your body is healing, it's just like, I've eaten salads for about 4 years. I think I'm done. Like that served me well, but I'm pretty much done with fruits and vegetables for the next 30 years because why do I need them? Like they're just crushed up plants. So they're filling in the gaps and helping your body keep into a great balance. Like we don't want to go back. So yes, you could like go break down all the ingredients and like go find them yourself and find them all separately and try to like arrange your own concoction. But for me, one of my friends was taking them and she took like, I think she was saying $700 worth of products every month. And all of this is just a simpler system. It's not that this is like genius. It's just packaged together in a way that's formulated to add balance from all different aspects of your health, from the key parts of your health that typically we want to just be like, what's the one product that's just going to do all the stuff? Like we tend to think one directional, like, can I just drink the drink? Can I just like take this and it's fine? And that for me was the difference. Like when I attacked it from the different directions, my body actually started to thrive, which means I'm not on chronic medication anymore. I'm not on an antidepressant. I take a probiotic called Vital Biome that helps, has clinical strains for IBS, leaky gut, and depression and anxiety. And so I'm like helping myself heal and increase serotonin. And because I have more energy, I'm moving my body. So that meant this morning I woke up and went to 7:15 a.m., which is, early, and went to Orange Theory for 45 minutes. And I didn't lay in bed and I didn't excuse myself because I want to show up better for my family. So it's giving me like the tools I need to then go to step 2, which is what am I going to do? Like ownership of my health, right? Versus just feeling like a victim mode for so long and my health is failing and I'm just frustrated and I don't know what to do. And I don't even know what's going to help, and just feeling a lot of hopelessness. So I'd love, Eliza, are you available to hop on really quick? I know she's here. Let me see if she can hop on. I wanted her to share a little bit about, there you are, about what she's noticed. She's just been on the products for like 3 days, like 3 or 4 days, and just what she's noticed so far. And it just sounded so much like me. That like all I can hear is hope. And that to me is everything. So I just love for her to share what she's noticed so far.
Yeah, it's only been 3 days and I feel like my life has just changed dramatically. I have been struggling with thyroid problems, inflammation, chronic fatigue, chronic pain. Man, my moods were all over the place. And I just have tried everything. I'm an herbalist. And while, the herbs I take help, they have not taken care of the issues in the way that I would like. I've tried so many different modalities and nothing has given me the results that I've gotten in just these 3 days. I've lost 5 pounds. My inflammation has gone down. I had swelling in my armpits and in my neck, and none of the doctors could figure out what it was. I had multiple mammograms and ultrasounds, and they kept telling me, it's not cancer, just, you're swollen kind of stuff. And they just never had an answer. All of that has gone away, all my swelling in my armpit and my neck. And I woke up this morning and I was not tired. And I cannot tell you the last time that I felt that way. I remember just as a teenager sleeping all the time and just not having the energy to make it through my day. So it's been quite a while since I've woken up, and I just was like, man, I feel good. I slept good. I have energy, and let's go with the day. Let's see what else. My moods are evening out. I'm able to handle my children's emotions better. I don't react to them as much. I can sit there and hold the space that they require to work through their own emotions. I trying to think. My bowel movements are more consistent. I'm having more than one a day, so that's good. Yeah, I'm just amazed at like the progress that I've made in just these 3 days. It's huge.
And will you share, like you shared a little bit about your kids, like about your
Oh
daughter?
yeah. So my whole family's doing it. My husband had pancreatitis last year. He lost his gallbladder, and he's constantly in the bathroom because he just can't control his bowel movements. After he eats, he spends 30 minutes in the bathroom. Now he's not doing that, and it's crazy. It's been 3 days and he's going to the bathroom less. He's not feeling sick after he eats. His moods were all over the place. He's not moody. Our relationship is better. We're more cooperative and patient with one another. My daughter is 11 and she's always suffered with chronic constipation, and she has chronic pain and fatigue. And all the doctors are like, we don't know why. She doesn't have, rheumatoid arthritis. She's, from what we can tell, healthy. And she woke up this morning at 7, and usually she's not out of bed at 9. Until 9, I have to homeschool her because she just can't function in a normal school setting. And she woke up at 7, and she didn't know what to do with herself because she's usually not up at that time. And she's like, I don't have anything to do. So her moods are better. She's smiling. Her face is brighter. Her moods are better. My kids are getting along better. They're not yelling at each other as much. And they're playing with one another so much better. So that's huge for me because man, it's emotionally exhausting to have to handle all of their fights. So
Yep.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. For me, it's like one thing to try to fight for your own health. It's like next level to help your kids. And that's something that for me, I focused on my health because I was like, I've got to show up better. And then I put all my kids on the products, and my youngest had really, really bad infant asthma and febrile seizures. And I was like, well, I heard it helps with asthma, but I was like, I don't know that it'll help with the seizures. I had a big glitch in my brain of like what this could help with. And I just kept thinking like, this isn't a miracle thing, but it's actually not true. It has been our miracle. Within a year, they pulled asthma off his charts and said he hasn't had anything to worry about. So let's just cross that off. He hasn't been in here for that at all. And you haven't used any of the medication. And I started my kids like in September. So like key, like sickness season. My oldest had really bad seasonal allergies with the grasses out here in Northern California that developed when we moved here. And so I started him in the fall, and by the spring, he wasn't coming in with the super puffy eyes. He would have super puffy eyes, a chronic stuffy nose. He would get up like 3 to 4 times a night and blow his nose, and like the honking blow that like the whole family is like, it's like honk, and you're like, oh my gosh, stop. So he would get chronic bloody noses like in the fall and winter. And it was just always like, what's the CVS thing? Like we just pulled out the humidifier for the stuffy noses, and we pulled out the medicines for the asthma and the allergies. And like, we just knew all the things. And that's what we kind of went with. My dad's a CVS guy, right? So I just had my whole thing packed with my CVS, like what to do when you get the symptom thing. And my dad would always be like, well, that's hereditary. That's hereditary. Until I got an autoimmune, and they said that's hereditary. And I said, whoa, nobody has this. Are you sure it's not something else? Are you sure it's not stress? Like, you didn't ask me about my diet. And he was like, nope, just get this medication. And that's when I started questioning. And so I just want you to always think like, what if, and what would life look like? And what would my life look like and feel like if I felt better, if I showed up better, if I slept better, if I had more energy, if my body wasn't in chronic pain? Like, what could I do? What could I do more of? Because all of us have things in our life that we want to do more of. We want to serve more. We want to be happier for our kids. Like a friend of mine said that she was a teacher, and she would be exhausted every day, and she'd come home and put her feet up, and her kid would be like, hey mom, do you want to come play basketball? Yeah. Just give me a few minutes. And she's like, I would wake up an hour later, and he'd walk in the door, and she'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, let's go play. And he's like, it's okay, mom. And that like breaks my heart because, it's not anybody's fault. But it's not the answer for you. It doesn't have to be like the things that you're saying, this is just who I am. Like, I just want to give you some hope and say like, what if that shifted? And what if the things that you're like, this is just where I am in life because I'm this age. What if those lifted and those disappeared, and you had more energy to show up better and to serve people in your life and to help bless other people and just to be in less chronic pain and to be less at the doctors and more out with your family. For me, that meant, every other month we were going and getting labs run, and my kids would play in the doctor's offices because they had to come with me. They had to come with me to all the psychiatrist appointments for my mental health and play outside. And now I'm taking them to parks and to parties, and we're not worried about packing up all the medications when we go on vacations. And my son's seizures went down the first year, and I still didn't say a thing because I thought the second I announced Plexus has helped, he's going to have another, and that means it didn't work. And I just had so much fear surrounding the hope that I wanted. Um, and it's one of those things where like once these things start disappearing, you forget that you felt that way for so long. And so if something comes back, you're like, it must not be working. But really you have to think, how much is this decreased? Like if I have a bad day, did I used to have 5 out of 6 bad days, or and now it's 3 out of 6, and now it's 2 out of 6, and like how much better is that? So anyways, we have some of the other products we have a full spectrum omega. We have a product called Nerve that helps with nerve pain. We have really clean skincare, which means there's not a bunch of synthetic like additives, and it works and it's simple and it's effective and it focuses on the microbiome of the skin. We have a phenomenal collagen supplement that helps with your bones. It helps with your joints, your nails, your hair. It's probably made me anti-age like 5 years since I started it. And I get compliments all the time on my skin, and I'm 41 years old. And it's because I'm doing all the things internally, which reflect externally, right? Your internal health dictates your external health. So how can we make all those get better? We have a fantastic line for kids. Again, focuses on preventative health, getting them like those missing links of things found in breast milk, and working on their gut health, because so many kids nowadays eat so much processed sugar and packaged items. And kid after kid has ADD, ADHD, eating issues. They're picky eaters. Eliza's saying like her kids would snack all the time and they wouldn't sit down for dinner. They'd be, I'm full, but their systems aren't regulated. She's like, they didn't have their 4 o'clock snack and they ate a full dinner. Like this is huge. Or kids that are really picky start having a bigger palate, which I'm sure Sarah can like understand. Like when your taste buds change, then suddenly you're like, well, maybe I'll try that. And they start eating more foods. Your kids start sleeping better. They're getting sick less often. My kids, I had my first experience with Plexus with a kid in preschool. She didn't miss one day of preschool and primary is like the year of like the nasty green noses and the coughs and the colds and you're just pulling your kids out. You're like, oh, they just got sick again from another kid. She didn't miss any preschool in a year. And that was huge. Like that to me is such a testament of what really healing your body and working on your immune system can do, especially during COVID and especially during a time where people are really panicking about their health. And am I doing enough? And am I making sure that I'm doing the best that I can, and waking up about health, right? So does anyone have any questions so far? Lisa, I know you're on here. Do you have any questions at all? We did talk about fatty liver at the beginning of the call, so you can listen to that. But if anyone has any questions, Sarah, do you have any questions about anything that was shared?
I don't.
Linda, do you have any questions so far?
Let's see, I'm gonna unmute.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
You're unmuted.
So tell us a little bit about the nerve. I want to order that because we've had a lot of, the MS and the neuropathy. We're going to add that. Tell me a little more about that.
So Nerve was created, I'm going to find you, there's a video somewhere that I read and it's like very scientific, but the guy that created Nerve, but it is meant to go in and like re-heal and reawaken. I'm going to look it up right here. Nerve pain. I have used it just in the last week because I had a tooth pulled and they put in like a whole bunch of bone and collagen, like crushed up bone and collagen. And I'm getting these like massive zingers. And I was like, is that the pain? Is it the inflammation? And he's like, no, that's your nerves. There's a very thin sheeting of nerve of like your nervous system. And so it's trying to connect and regraft with the bone. And so that's why you're getting nerve pain. And I'm like, I have this product called Nerve. Like, that's amazing. So I went and took 2 of those. You can take a loading dose of those, like the E is like a higher amount than normal. And it helps with that. It helps relieve, like reduce nerve discomfort. It has alpha lipoic acid again, which is what we talked about. It has horse chestnut extract. And it's formulated to help support your nerve cells and your nervous system. Something that has also helped people if they have like ADHD and focus issues is that they will take the active, which opens up all of your blood vessels. And that's another great thing for nerve is that I'll take it with a half an active. So it opens up all your blood vessels, and then you take your nerve and it's allowed to like shoot in and get further into your nerve pain and help that faster. It's helped kids with ADHD. It helps with people that have shooting nerve pain. And it has really helped my mouth a lot. So that's kind of one of those interesting things. And I'll send you the video of why it was created, but it helps with the nervous system. So I'm excited for him to take that and to learn more about that as well. It's not one that's talked about often because it's kind of more of a rare thing, right? Inflammation is kind of really common and all over. But again, I love that every product that's created is like, how can we help the body heal from key things that are preventing people from like truly living, and like everything's focused on preventative health. But I will find that video for you.
One of the things I have is numbness, like in my face, and my feet. So that one might, help that numbness.
Reawaken those nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
somebody, who did I talk to? No, I just saw a video and it's coming to mind, so I'm going to think about who it was. I just saw a post about somebody who had some disease where like half of her face was numb. And
Bell's
they said,
palsy.
yes.
Yeah, I've had Bell's palsy.
And so they said,
Yeah.
I'll find you the testimonial, because I read it this last week, and they said, we're not sure if it'll come back ever, or it may come back in a couple months. And within a week of taking certain products, she had the feeling back in her face.
Wow. Yeah, it's been a couple years since I've had the Bell's palsy, and when I get tired and stuff, I'll get, that my side will still, kind of droop, and so, yeah.
So
Yeah. So
I will look that up and find that for you and send that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that was really fascinating. And I was like, wow, that's really incredible. So people from MS, I've had people with kids who have like severe conditions or can't move and can't get up, and their body just literally begins to heal. And I think sometimes we focus on like with the Band-Aid, like what can fix this and make it go away. We forget like how intricately and complex God made our human bodies, and how we do have the ability to heal. Like just as we have the ability to destroy, we can also heal and rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And how incredible that is. Just in my mouth, where I'm like, you put someone else's bone in collagen and it's grafting new bone, then we're like, oh, whatever to supplements. And I'm like, if my body can graft new bone, like with science, this is also science.
Yeah.
Also means my body can heal other things. And it's proof. Like my labs were wonky 4 years ago, completely off the charts, no understanding of why I would get a viral thyroid issue. It's still crazy to me. And I have fantastic labs, and watching people go into the doctors and visibly seeing charted labs of their blood pressures, gone down. And so they get pulled off that medication or reduced. And people who their labs that were wonky are now have great absorbable levels with their B vitamins and other things. And it's just, that for me is like an additional just proof, but also understanding that doctors don't study supplementation, and that's okay. Like,
no, they don't.
And so they know what they know, and they know medicine, and they know that medicine can help the pain. And that's totally understandable, but also understanding that we are our best advocates, and we can say, no, thank you. We can say, I'll take it. And then let me see what else I can do. And then while I'm taking it, I feel better. Can you help me wean? Like all of that is in our control. And for me, I just thought I can always go back to medicine. That's not going anywhere. What if I could do a different way? What if other things could help too? So
could you also talk about the MetaBurn? That's the MetaBurn.
So MetaBurn helps with burning stubborn white belly fat. It helps balance your adrenals. So a lot of people with adrenal fatigue, and adrenals are like a key component in like your energy levels. So it helps balance your adrenals, and it has a gentle mood lift with, I think it's HTP5. So it helps your mood, and it helps increase your metabolism. So you can take 1 a day, you can take 2 a day. Typically start with food. And if you do okay with 1, you can go to 2. And if you do okay with those, you can move it to just with your pink drink or whatever is more simple. So again, I like that everything is kind of multi-tiered. It's not just like it helps with this one thing. It also helps kind of with other things as well.
Okay.
Again, like I think you're really intuitive. So as you listen to your body and as you have more energy, like move. As you have less this, do this. As you're sleeping better, you'll be able to wake up earlier. You know, all of the things kind of go hand in hand, and it helps you make habits, which then continue just to build upon everything else, which I think is pretty awesome. And I know you're really knowledgeable about supplementation and stuff too, and just listening to your body. And so I'm excited for you guys too. Lisa, can you hear us? Do you have any questions?
Hi.
Hi.
Running around feeding and stuff. Hi. Yeah, well, I mean, I have a lot of the same issues as Linda. You know, I have the restless leg, the yeast issues, constipation, all the things. I had weight loss surgery about 10 years ago, and I put on a good majority of that back. And I've been doing low carb for the last year and lost 30 pounds. But because I have the fatty liver, that's getting really old. So I'm kind of looking for something else that will give me added help.
Yeah. So we had Brooke talk early on the call, so you can listen to that part, but she specifically talks about fatty liver and how that can help. This can help. Also, what else did you mentioned a couple other things. You said
over the restless leg, which would probably be the nerve product.
Yeah, so this is very helpful with oxygenating the body, and also magnesium is really helpful for that. And the way that this is formulated, I used to get restless legs a little bit different. I used to get, I don't know what it's called, but like where it's super tingly all the time.
Yeah.
Is that what you get? Is that called restless leg? Okay. Or like at night it would cramp up.
Well,
I get both of those.
Leg cramps, it's like your leg just has to move. Like at night they itch, it's just that movement, and you don't rest well.
So mine was the opposite. I would get like severe leg cramps, like sharp cramps, where I'd be like, oh, like in my calves, and I'd have to sit and massage it out. Or I'd sit here like at my desk working because I was a photographer editing, and then I would get tingly legs and I have to stand and jump around. That was for like 20 years. And I was like, that's just my body, like whatever. Those completely disappeared. I don't get those anymore. And then you mentioned like yeast issues. So Probio 5 is an antifungal. So that helps with the yeast. Like if you have chronic yeast issues, my husband had like this weird, like the bottom of his feet were like super white. And I'd always be like, what is wrong with you? Like you've got some weird disease. Don't you touch my feet in the bed, right? I was like, you're gonna pass on your like yeast to me or something. And that faded. Or like people with like a yeasty tongue or with yeast. And so just understand that like, there's people that are like, I just got a yeast infection. What's in this stuff? Well, that's probably already yeast inside your body and it's going to come out. So we'll support you for that. If that happens, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And through detox, you might have to get some yeast out somehow, the extra. But then over time, people are like, I got one in the beginning, and then I would normally get one a couple times a year, and those disappeared, or I only got one this year versus like 3 to 4. I used to get yeast infections, not a lot, but I probably had like 3 or 4 of them since I got married, and I haven't had one in 3 years.
So I don't get feminine ones. I just have yeast on my skin, like my feet and my belly and stuff. Okay. And it's gotten worse since I've been doing the keto style eating. So I think my body is, throwing it out of my gut and throwing it onto my skin. So yeah.
Yeah. So having an antifungal is very helpful.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will help a lot with that. And then you mentioned one more thing. Oh, digestive system, just constipation. Yeah. But that was me for a long time too. And then mine went reverse, and they're both bad. Right. And so BioCleanse helps with both. People are like, I don't want that because I go too much. Well, if you're sprinting to the bathroom, like Eliza's husband, that's also not healthy because your body's not absorbing nutrients. Or if it's backed up, you can carry like 20 pounds of fecal matter and then all those toxins in your body.
Right.
And so like I said, like it's always like, go take Miralax or give your kids Miralax. Well, like, my husband would take Metamucil and all of those things. I remember once in college, or I was like 19, 20 living on my own, and I had to give myself an enema. And I was like, this is the most like humbling thing I've ever done to myself. Like, this is so awkward. because I
Yeah.
hadn't pooped in like 3 days. And it's like you can feel the toxic buildup. You just feel horrible. You get like headaches, you get flu-like symptoms, all of those. So to have that like system running through because you're breaking down toxins, not just because you're eating like 50 prunes a day, makes a big, big difference in how you feel. And then everything starts to improve from there too. So I'm excited for you. This will help. And then our like protein shakes have fiber in them, which keeps you fuller longer, also helps with your digestive system. The Hunger Control Slim, the long one, also has plant-based fiber. Again, helps your digestive system and keeps you fuller longer. So a lot of these things, like the kids drink, sometimes I drink this for fun because it's my kids, but it helps with your microbiome. So it helps, GI issues and stuff like that. And Vital Biome is huge. It's a small probiotic. And it just is like a true fertilizer. So that helps with a lot of like IBS and digestive issues. So we'll start you maybe not on that, but if you need extra support, there's extra support for things like that too.
Okay.
So I'm excited for you. It's something that I'd never heard of Plexus before. Like, I don't know if you guys had, I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, I didn't have friends that were on it. I had friends that were on all these other like network marketing things, but nobody doing this. And so the first time I heard it, I just remember feeling hope and being like, well, that makes sense. Like you can diet all you want and like remove all the things, but if you just heal your gut and heal internally and rebalance, then like that makes sense. Then you start eating better. You notice better what goes in, what goes out. And like all of the things, like the more you research and you learn, the more they're linked. And that's really fascinating to me. Just that like your sleep hormones are created in your gut and your happy hormones are created in your gut. And it's not just a brain issue, right? Like all of the things are linked and hormones are linked and blood sugar balance is linked and digestive system, it's all, oxygenation, all of those things are all linked. And so when you address them all together and reduce the inflammation, your body can then heal because it's not always fighting those inflammatory markers, like Linda
Right.
will talk about, right? Your body has to fight a lot for liver issues and inflammation, which just makes you like exhausted. Like it's like eternally pregnant. Remember when you're pregnant and you like couldn't move?
Yeah, I mean, I actually have the side pain from the liver inflammation. And so that's why I was doing the low carb, because that's what puts the fat in your liver is the carbohydrates. So, but your
So
willpower.
the drink has a specific ingredient called alpha lipoic acid that helps detoxify the liver and support the liver. And then I think Renee already talked to you about like making sure you're on milk thistle too.
Yes.
I still take that too. And that helps with liver support as well.
Like a year.
Yeah.
So.
And so also like seeing how much you're taking, like you might need to increase how much milk thistle you're taking. Someone told me to take 3. How much I don't know how much is in your stuff, but.
Yeah. So I have one that's, for your liver health, and it actually has milk thistle and something else. And then I just purchased another one that's just milk thistle. I was going to add that to it. So, I mean,
It's really inexpensive, but it helps support your body. Just like activated charcoal is really helpful for detox symptoms. Lemon water, like we'll teach you all about like extra ways to support your body as you go through whatever your body is going to go through. Some people don't go through detox. Some people go through horrible detox. Some people gain 5 pounds and then over the course of a year or 10 pounds because their body's just shifting and moving and, and then over the course of a year, they lose like 30 to 40 pounds. Right. So you don't know what your body is going to do, but we're here to support you and just make sure that you're doing everything you can to help support your body as it's working stuff out, working all the junk out. And you will notice things like along the way, like if like me, sleep took 4 months, someone else noticed better sleep in 2 weeks. So that's why like grabbing accountability partners is cool because you can be like, okay, what are you noticing? Worley, I'm not there yet. Okay, what are you noticing? And when you do it together and you have a community of people, it kind of takes the focus also off like me and like what's not happening for me. And you're like celebrating and checking in on other people, which gives you more patience for yourself too during the process. So we always encourage people to grab some accountability partners and see who they can help along the way. And also just understanding that like people don't talk about this stuff, right? Like Eliza's husband's not going to be with his dude friends and be like, so you guys go home and like, I poop every day. Like, do you do that? Like they just don't talk about it. My friend's husband was a salesman for solar and he would sprint home every day and go to the bathroom and it ran right through him. Same thing. Like they don't talk about it. So, you know, you just don't want to be like the complainer, but so many people in our are suffering from health, and there's an answer. And so offering people hope is just huge in a way that's not overwhelming, but can help heal the body. So I'm excited for you guys. Do you need help on what to get? Is that we can help you with today, Lisa?
Yeah, that would probably be good.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. Let me shut off the recording, and then Linda, if you want to send it to anybody.